we're gonna, wow, I am very bright today. So here's what we're gonna do today. Last week I built this little button thingy that lets you export all of the CSS in styled components, not in general style sheets, that applies to this specific button and all of its children. So I want to open source this so that it's easier to use in other projects, and I want to make it so that basically it's an npm package, it's open source, write an example and all those good things. And I forgot to start the chat room. Open whatever. I don't think I actually need to open those, but for some reason it asks every time. So we will see if anyone joins today. It's a beautiful Saturday outside, at least in San Francisco. And, you know, people, I don't usually do this on Saturdays, so I don't think anyone's expecting me to be online, which means nobody will show up. But anyway, I need to get it done, and live coding helps me focus. So I'm gonna start by figuring out how do I use microbundle, because microbundle has proven itself to be pretty useful for this kind of stuff. Also, let's find a good Kiwi. What should we call this? CSS extract. Let's see if that exists. Extract CSS from a browserify model. Extract class names and IDs from CSS. Mini CSS extract plugin. Hey JV soon. So what I'm working on is open sourcing this little hack that I built last week, where you can click on, well, you can call a function on any styled component and it gives you this all of the CSS from styled components that applies to that component and all its subcomponents. So I want to open source it, so which will make it easier to use and potentially allow other people to use it as well. Hey Riot, I don't know how to pronounce that. So what should we call this? Let's see. Styled component extractor. Component extractor, component style extractor. Component style extractor. Component CSS extractor. That seems perfect. So we're gonna call it the component CSS extractor because I think that makes sense. Make dir. Oh, actually, let's start it on GitHub. GitHub.com. I'm gonna move this to be a little smaller. New component CSS extractor. Yeah. And we're gonna call it, what's the description for this? I'm umming a lot today, so I'm gonna write the description as extract CSS from any scoped styles in any scoped styles in a component framework in the browser. In the browser, it's public. We're gonna have a README file. JavaScript git ignore? No, doesn't exist. And a license called MIT, because MIT is a good license for open source kind of stuff. Yes, so it's like the Chrome inspect element, but it works. It's not for inspecting for the Chrome, it's for using programmatically. So you call a function and I'll show you. So I'm gonna clone this thing. Git clone, bam, and then we go into component CSS extractor and we say npm init. Component CSS extractor version 1, description, extract CSS, bam, and let's give it topic styled components. Perfect. CSS. We should also say that this is, I'm using it for React, so let's say that it's for React. I'm not gonna test it with Vue, but let's add Vue anyway because I'm pretty sure it would work with Vue. So that's the description. Entry point is index.js. Sure. Test command, we don't need one. That's the Git repository. Keywords. style components, CSS, React, Vue, whatever. Author is moi. License is MIT, and that is okay. Perfect. Now, how do I set up microbundle for this? Because I want to use microbundle because I know that it works pretty well. Set up your package JSON. So I'm gonna go to component CSS extractor here. Why is my bird eating stuff? Hold on just a second. Kiwi, stop that. Stay here. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna make... Hi, yes. See, it's good when you're here. Here, have a treat. No? Okay, fine. So he's destroying sheets over there, which is really not good for him. But he likes doing it, so he won't let me stop him. Source main. Okay, main should be in dist index.js. Source should be in source index.js. Then what else do we need? We don't need module, we don't need blah. And let's add a script, build microbundle, and let's add dev anyway because it exists, microbundle.watch. Cool. And minus d. Okay, let's do that. npm I minus d microbundle. So that's getting installed. And it should just work automatically, I think. We will see. That is getting installed. Oh, minus D means that it's a dev dependency, doesn't it? That's cool. Has too many active changes. Its status, okay, what? Yeah, okay, that is complaining about completely pointless things. Click-through mode. Yes. Okay, so their click-through mode doesn't work on this thing, which is silly. Am I a graduate student in computer science? I am not, actually. I didn't even graduate from... I actually never graduated from computer science. I went for a long time, but I didn't graduate. Not modules. Git status. Okay. Let's do yarn as well, because I like to use yarn more than I like to use npm. Cool. And now we need the source index.js file. Git commit, git status, package lock, yarn lock, okay, git commit -a-m, and we're going to say git add dot init npm repository. Okay, then we make their source touch source index.js, and we go into index.js, and I'm going to copy over what I built in the when I was experimenting with this and developing it, which is this function. So app.js, we have get class. I'm just gonna copy all of this over. Why is this being so annoying? Okay, let's copy over all of this. Dude, stop giving me so many warnings. Okay, I should just click don't show again, shouldn't I? I'm gonna copy over all of this code, and then we go back into the component CSS extractor project. Bam, and we say, okay, so get CSS, and what's wrong? Like that. So we have we need to add CSS, yarn add the CSS module, because we're using the CSS module to parse CSS and get it back into a string. So that's going to be import CSS from CSS. And we also have, let's call this a function, extract CSS, and it gets a node like that. So node get class names, splits, blah, get CSS for the entire page, get embedded CSS for the entire page. And here we're going to say that it collect class names for a DOM subtree, works for styled components and CSS modules. So anything with unique-ish CSS class, anything CSS class based, yes, anything based on CSS classes. Gets embedded CSS for the entire page, parses, filters CSS for our classes, and then we return, and that's pretty much it. So we return the thing, and we say export default function extract CSS, and now when I say yarn build, this should compile it, and we will see what happens. Cool. So honestly, that should be pretty much it. This should now be a publishable npm module. Git status, git add dot, git commit -a-m, port solution from experiment code, like that. And we say git push origin master. And now I'm going to try to npm publish this so that we can try it in a code sandbox and work from there. So npm publish. Let's see. Oh, I need my phone to do the OTP code. Give me a second. Kiwi, what are you up to? Where is my phone? Okay, got my phone. Let's see, authenticator app. What? Why? Authenticator app. And okay, I need to wait for it to reload the codes. 5 059. And this should now get published. There we go. Publish failed. It actually succeeded. I'm pretty sure it actually succeeded. I don't know why it always says that it fails even though it succeeds, but I'm pretty sure we will now be able to find it here. Component CSS extractor. No? Okay, let's try that again. npm publish. For what? The one-time password is over the previously published versions. Yes, so it is actually already there. Okay, now we need to wait for all of this stuff to update a little bit, I think. Login. Why am I not logged in? No. Okay, now I need my authenticator device here as well. Cool. Component CSS extractor. Come on, I know you're there. Okay, maybe search. Hey, fuzzy buddy. Maybe search takes a while to update. But while that's happening, let's try building an example in code sandbox, because honestly, that's what you need these days, right? Is a code sandbox so that you can prove people that what you built actually works. So I'm gonna make this a little bigger so that we can zoom in some more. and I'm gonna go into my old the project where I was playgrounding and researching this, and I'm going to copy the same what was I gonna say? I'm gonna copy the same stuff. So, damn it. Do not show me this again. Gracias. Okay, so I had this app. We're gonna need, come on, add dependency, styled components. There, we need that thing. And I said we also need rebus, because rebus has pretty defaults. Rebus. Wow, why did this suddenly become so damn slow? Computer, what are you so busy with? Why is backup? Why are backups running right now? Like, that is very unnecessary. Okay, so we have that. Now I'm going to copy over the button. So import button from rebus, and import, we said styled from styled components. Styled from styled components, like that. Okay. Blah blah blah, and then we create a button here. Extract CSS from your components. Extract any CSS. Extract component CSS. Yeah. Extract component CSS. And we're gonna add a nice emoji. Let's say this painter. Extract CSS. Extract CSS is gonna look better. Start editing to see some magic happen. Hey Orinong, what are you up to? What? You can ask for help, but I can't promise that I'll be able to give it until you ask. Because whether I can help or not depends on so many different things. My time tracker is bugging out. That's not great. Let's see, live coding. Is my code good or perfect? That is a very bold question. I can probably tell you right away without even looking at it that it is not perfect, but I can check whether it is good. Let me just make sure that my thing is running. What did I do? God damn it. Okay. Come on. Connect. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry that I'm doing this while you're watching. I'm not very focused today. Click the button below to see its styles. And let's change this to an H3. Oh, right. So, unlike my VS Code, Code Sandbox doesn't auto change the big opening and closing tags. So I'm going to open the button, and we're going to say see my CSS, and we're going to keep the painter guy. Button, come on, I know the button exists. What are you complaining about? Emojis should be wrapped, blah. Oh, right, on click isn't defined, whatever. And we are gonna need the ref, so we're going to say use ref, and const ref equals use ref, like that. So now we have the button, see my CSS, and I will be able to click on this in just a bit. So we're going to say on click equals expose CSS. This is going to be a function in our thing because it's going to be helpful. So we're going to say expose CSS. For now, this can be just a normal function, and we say function expose CSS that says what? So we're going to start by console logging it and then go from there. Console log of why did it require the console? What the hell? Console log hi, just to make sure that clicks work. Yep, that showed up. Style is defined but never used, don't care. Now let's add my CSS extractor thingy. Component CSS extractor, published by me very recently. Hey Candy Cane, I'm doing pretty well, how are you? Okay, let's see what Orenong was sharing. The thing I share. Share, planet class, planet Java. I am not very, Orenong, I'm sorry, but I'm not super familiar with Java, so it's very hard for me to say how idiomatic this code is. And I also don't know how to run and test it. So unfortunately, I cannot help you at this moment. But if you make a runnable example, I can try it. So what is this complaining about? Unmount component, yeah, okay, don't care. So we have expose CSS, and we're going to say console log extract CSS from ref.current, and we're going to import extract CSS from component CSS extractor. Now let's see if that works. I'm gonna reload just in case. Sure, you can, I guess you can send me a jar or nong, but I promise you that you will, I'm pretty sure it's going to be much more helpful if you find somebody who actually knows Java to help you. And I am not that person. I personally very dislike Java. So we got the CSS, great, the library works. It works even in Code Sandbox, which is amazing. I was worried about that. So now we can see the CSS, and here we're going to now render our extracted CSS, and we're going to say const extracted CSS and set extracted CSS equals use state that starts with an empty one. Come on. Okay, we need to import use state, use state, and for extract CSS, we're going to call that instead like this. Set extracted CSS. Cool. And now when I click this, yay, it all shows up here. Wonderful. Now let's update the pre so that everything shows up left aligned. We're going to say const pre equals style pre, and it says text align left. Wonderful. Okay, that is working. Let's give it some. There must somebody in Turkey. Okay, let's give this a width of 300 pixels and say that it's margin 0 auto. So now when I click see my CSS, it shows up right there. And let's give it some padding on top. Padding, let's say 1 EM 0. So see my CSS, wonderful. Okay, click the button below to see its styles. Now let's add some cool. So that's the example. Extract CSS, click the button below to see its styles. I think the description should also have this dude. Let's go into my package JSON, random coding, okay, component CSS extractor. and we say we go into package JSON, we add the emoji in front because emoji are very important, and then we're going to go in and write the readme file for all of this. For now we have that. Then we can say, what else can we say? Click buttons below. Click the buttons below to see their styles. There we go. See my CSS, and then we can say h3 works with deeply nested components, works on entire DOM subtrees. So we're going to add a button here, pop, and let's say here expose CSS. We're going to say that it takes a ref, so ref1. This is going to be ref1. Then we're going to say const ref2 equals use ref. So we're going to have multiple refs that are each going to produce the same result, and that way we'll be able to have example code that shows how this works in multiple situations and how somebody might use it. Works on entire DOM subtrees. Let's see, what does rebase give us? What else does rebase give us that looks cool? So if we go into docs, we can say heading, button, link, image. That looks cool. Card. Yes. Let's do a card. So card and image. Card like that, and it has a button. Let's see what happens. Ref equals ref2. On click, it will be expose CSS ref2 like that. So the card itself doesn't give us that much. I thought it would give us more. What if we say all of this stuff? Very nice. Okay, font size, let's say font size 1. Cool. See this card's CSS. And let's add an image as well, because images are cool. Like that. Let's add the button up top. Like that. Okay. Voila. And we get the entire CSS for everything. Isn't that cool? And if we click this one, we can see it down here. Almost feels like we should... Yeah, the people aren't gonna find that, are they? I think... Yeah, the CSS needs to be further up. So let's move the pre-extracted CSS 1. And here we're going to say this is extracted CSS 1, extracted CSS 2, and we're going to make an example thingy. Aha, yes. Or not. No, we can keep it simple. Extracted CSS 1, extracted CSS 2, and we're going to say set state. So it's going to get a ref and a set state function, and we're going to make this really silly. So extracted CSS 1, and where's this one? Extracted CSS 2. So now when I click here, it shows up here, and when I click this one, it shows down there. Perfect. So we got the example working, which I think this is a good enough example. Do you feel like we need more examples? I'm pretty sure that should be fine. What happens if we say, ooh, very nice, 0.8, let's say 0.8. Okay, that's fine. I'm not sure exactly how this works, so I will, let's keep it at 1. Okay, so we got that stuff, and yeah, this should be a good enough example. Cool. Now I want to save this thing, and let's go into the README file and start doing that. Component CSS extractor. Extract CSS from any scope styles in a component framework in the browser. Try it in a code sandbox. So I'm gonna point down like that, and let's see. Would it be cool if, okay, let's paste this into my tech letter app and see how well it works. So, or like what kind of preview it creates for us. Okay, that's taking a while. It's usually faster than that. Okay, that's good enough. So we're going to take that and we're gonna say we have a link that has a image and then links to that stuff. So this is our image. You see the what's it called? Code sandbox thumbnail. Like the tech letter app that I built is actually super useful. I've been using it more and more for more and more things that I'm doing because it's just really handy. Okay, so we got that. Try it in a code sandbox. We say how to use. We say npm install minus say, yeah, I'll just call it yarn add. Yarn add component CSS extractor, like that. And then what else do we need? How to use yarn add component CSS extractor, and we say, and then we to extract CSS from any component, use the extract CSS method with a reference to a DOM node. With a DOM reference, with a DOM node reference, with a DOM node reference. Like that. We take a JavaScript and we say import extract CSS from component CSS extractor, and then we do stuff and just extract CSS node const styles equals extract CSS node. Tested with React and styled components, but should work on any tested with React and styled components, but should work on any anything that renders to the DOM and puts class-based CSS in the HTML header. In style tags in your HTML header. Works on code sandbox and create React app. Works on code sandbox and create React app. Probably others. Probably others. Great. What else do we say? But why? So here I'm going to add a Giphy, and here's gonna be let's see, but why? Let's get a Giphy. Cool. I originally built this. No, I built this for a project where I needed to export parts of my UI to raw HTML, because getting the HTML is easy, but you need styles as well, or it doesn't work great, or doesn't work that great. Turns out extracting the styles isn't so trivial. Styled components supports it on the server supports it when you're doing server-side rendering, but not in the browser. Extracting using element dot get computed style works okay, but produces too much code. You get values for every possible CSS property in the standard. You get values for every possible for every CSS property in the standard, not just what's called not just what you defined. You get values for every CSS property in the standard, not just what you defined. If you wanna see all the approaches I tried before landing on this one, extract CSS, use the extract CSS method with a DOM node reference, blah blah blah, tested with React and style components, probably others. Happy CSS extracting. Let's add a heart emoji because those are cool. If you want to see all the approaches I tried before landing on this one, you can watch this video. Ooh, that's me. Let's see, if I go to my videos, then I should be able to get quick research, this one. Okay, quick research, and then, whoa, my camera just ran out of battery. Go into tech letter app, that's going to make it embeddable on, what's it called? Okay, I should be back now. Am I back? Am I back? Where is OBS? What? What did I do? Okay. Well, okay, my OBS window. So with server-side rendering, what happens? So with server-side rendering, styled components is using this to create styles to go into a file so that you can export it to a browser, which is great, but or like so just so you can serve it. But for some reason that doesn't work on the front end. In fact, it's completely disabled on purpose, which is why I ended up having to develop this thing in the first place. So here's the link, and I'm gonna take this thingy here, no, like this. Awesome. Cool. So yeah, with styled components server-side rendering support, you're able to extract the CSS so that you can serve it from the server, but that doesn't work in the browser, which is why I wasn't able to make it to use it. Git status git commit -a -m. Oh, let's also here happy CSS extracting. It's not disabled by the browser. It's disabled by the styled components library. PS, this won't work with server-side rendering. This is purely a client-side library. There are plenty of built-in solutions for the server. Use those. This won't work with server-side rendering. This is purely a client-side library. There are component extract CSS. Extract CSS won't work with server-side rendering. This is purely a client-side library. There are plenty of built-in solutions for the server. Let's do this. Component CSS extractor won't work with server-side rendering. Okay. There are plenty of built-in solutions for the server. Perfect. So I think that's it. Status git commit -a -m update readme git push origin master. Cool. So now when I go to GitHub, I should be able to go into my, where is it? Component CSS extractor. Wonderful. Why doesn't this work? For serious. Why bad request? What do you mean bad request? Seriously? Come on, you can do it. You can open this. Alright, I'm just gonna upload this to Imager because apparently it doesn't work from here. So yeah, it doesn't work from here, so I'm gonna move it to Imager. Unless I can upload it, but I don't think I can. So, save that screenshot. New post. Ugh, come on, just let me upload and work faster. Okay, so we're uploading that. Get this guy, copy image address, go here. that. Well, at least I hope that's gonna work. Copy image address, paste it here, and I guess let's go straight to Giphy and get that. Why did that stop working? It's disabled, but why? I'm getting very, very hungry right now. Okay, cool. Let's see, commit changes. Let's hope that works. Yay, it does. Awesome. What else? Oh, let's add an MIT license and stuff. Contributions, welcome. Let's add that. MIT license. Meh. Okay. Why wouldn't the links from Amazon? So I don't know why the links from Amazon don't work, but links from Imager do work, and I don't think it's really worth digging into that too much right now. So yeah, okay, we have open sourced this, and that is great. So that's all I had to live code for today. I will see you again probably tomorrow. We're gonna do either tomorrow or on Monday. I'm gonna dig into comparing. What was I gonna compare? I'm gonna dig into comparing React with Angular and Vue because somebody asked on my mailing list. So thanks everyone for watching, and have a great Saturday.